Hi, I'm Janet Napolitano, Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. Homeland Security begins with hometown security.
It seems apparent that our citizens are staying off the streets, which may make scoring particularly difficult, even with this year's rule changes. To recap those revisions, women are still worth 10 points more than men in all age brackets, but teenagers now rack up 40 points, and toddlers under 12 now rate a big 70 points. The big score, anyone, any sex, over 75 years old, has been upped to 100 points. As always, how fast you move determines how long you live.
It's
Resistance
Friday.
to tyrants is obedience to God.
Oh, yeah.
It's Alex Jones.
All right, launch. Primary ignition. Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central, 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. to noon Pacific, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain or Montana time. We are here. Thank you so much for joining us today. Okay, first off, I tweeted earlier today and made the point that this could be Obama's Waterloo. This could be Obama's Watergate. This could be Obama's Bastille Day. This could be the end of the Obama cult that the globalists are trying to push here in the United States to bring in collectivism, to domesticate the general population while imploding the nation, to offshore our wealth to mega-rich who are exempt. The very same mega banks imploding Europe, signing them on to their debts. And what is that Waterloo? What is that big battle they can lose? It is the bullets. It is the fact that they bought billions of bullets and tens of thousands of armored vehicles the last 4 years. It's just 2,700 big armored vehicles in the last few months they purchased. And they are domestically deploying them. We have an article up at Infowars.com that's on FEMA's website that ties it all together, where FEMA is training local police to be federalized for civil unrest, riots, civil war, mass casualty drills. I mean, they're training for all-out war. And the Army Times admits they're training for the military to be used for gun confiscation, and there's Army manuals for gun confiscation, and Army manuals for FEMA camps and how to process us with the Social Security numbers, and all our articles are up at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com with the links going directly to FEMA.gov and Army.mil. So if you're mainstream media or Congress people that listen to the show, because I know a lot of them do, and you're saying, you know, where is this? Just type in Army Manual for Gun Confiscation in U.S., Army Manual for FEMA Camps for Americans, FEMA Manual for Federalization of Police Urban Warfare Preparations in America. It's all there. You can search those terms, and you won't just have Infowars.com at the top. Under it will be Army.mil, FEMA.gov. It's all right there. Click it. Go read it. And you know, we've written articles about this, and there'll be trolls under the articles saying, this isn't for America, move along. And then we show the Social Security numbers, how it's for America, videos of their own website showing drills for confiscation in America. It is for America. This is Program L, FFE of FEMA, 2013, Field Force Extraction Tactics. That's grabbing people off the streets. That's snatch and grab. We saw him practicing on real people up at the G20 when Rob Dew got arrested. The famous footage of guys in military uniforms with no patches jumping out of police sedans, unmarked, and just snatching innocent press and dragging them in. And then we later learned, we said, oh, that's U.S. National Guard. They have and we got a call from G20, Global Security, with that number from the security forum, because our articles got picked up everywhere, and said, that is national security authorized private security. And we just want you to know that we have been instructed to tell you that was not the National Guard. And then they hung up on Rob Jacobson. They called his number. I call them back, and they go, you've been given your answer? And that is it, and hung up. And it was the field security number. So I called other numbers, and they wouldn't talk to us after that. They just called up to say, that is our private security. And it turned out those weren't real people. They were arresting thousands of real people for no reason. They were randomly snatching and grabbing and throwing people into sedans and unmarked vans as a psyop to see what the media would do. They would go to the media area, the authorized media throng, and grab someone. And I called it. I said, that guy is laughing after he's thrown in the back of the police car and doesn't look concerned, that reporter. Guys, for TV viewers, type in Snatch and Grab Pittsburgh G20, and there's a bunch of footage of it on YouTube with millions of views. Just type that and we can show viewers, but listeners can go look it up. Then in Canada, at the G20 a few years ago, they started doing it, but then they shifted live. Some of it was real. And then they started grabbing real people. They went and grabbed people in front of the media to see if the media would say anything. And then when they didn't, they went live. I mean, they have got this scientifically broken down. Yep, here they found some of the footage. Yep, boom. Gold sedan pulls up. Men in U.S. Army uniforms grab them, cram them in the back of the vehicle. You notice that one moment of smiling and giggling. The guy's not really fighting him. Because if he really would have fought him, they'd have bounced his head off the ground like a bowling ball or like a basketball with pleasure and extreme prejudice. Anyways, there you go. That's not even one of the best res versions of it. There's a better res one out there. And there's a bunch of those. And then now the real black vans show up and they grab real people. See, they tested, can we run a North Korean op? And America said, we love North Korea. And they said, we're going to hammer your butt then. And now in Austin, they go, you don't hand magazines out and you don't have a bumper sticker. Until I came down there and said, I'm going to sue you. And then the word came down from Arde Saveda. Aaron called the police, got all the names, what happened, and told him, don't do that. He can hand out magazines. But the point is, I mean, what if I didn't know the police chief? I mean, in America, this is what we've become. And it's like, oh, big deal. You understand how creepy that is? You understand the magnitude? This is their Waterloo. This is how it works. We either gain everything or we lose everything. They're going for it all. We go for it all. You understand that? If they can buy 2 billion bullets, 10,000 plus armored vehicles the last 4 years. I mean, we've videoed them in Austin, big, giant, black, huge, heavy armor. These things can take, heavy rockets, heavy mines, IEDs, big, giant, black FEMA vehicles all over the country photographed. You've seen them. I've seen them. Every major police department's got Korean War, Vietnam, and then now even modern six-wheeled strikers, warriors, all these big vehicles that the military's getting rid of. I mean, I've shot video. I can take you up to the DPS storage yard north of Austin and show like 9 of them lined up last time I was there. I mean, these look like the thing on a Red Dawn the Soviets drive. Big, six-wheeled deals. And they're just like, doesn't exist, doesn't exist, doesn't exist. I mean, that's actually in the news every day. There are no armored vehicles. There are no bullets. There's black helicopter drills all over the country where they blow up part of a building and terrorize people and then go on the news and say, does not exist. They've been doing that for 20 years. It can be in the Houston Chronicle that a Delta Force helicopter crashes, killing people. A building blows up, and the local news said didn't happen. Didn't happen in the Houston Chronicle, but Soldier of Fortune got the photos and videos from locals and put stills of it in their magazine. By the way, I've had the Colonel on before. We ought to get the head of Soldier of Fortune on sometime. He's an interesting guy. The point is that this is the type of stuff. Okay, I mean, look, helicopters were crashing, blowing up, drills everywhere, and I start covering it, and the newspaper comes out and says I'm crazy. I mean, that is a psyop, ladies and gentlemen. But here's the deal. If that was a 1 on a Richter scale in 1996, 97, 98, 99, when Clinton was thinking about martial law and going into police stations all over the country, Delta Force was, and saying, we may bring in martial law. Are you for that? And handing them giant briefcases full of $100 and $1,000 bills. 150, 200,000, police chief, mayor, entire city council. And when I interviewed Chief Ale Philippus, that's online, Alex Jones interviews San Antonio police chief, You know, he'd been in the military. He'd been in Vietnam. He'd been in Army intelligence. He thought it was a setup to sting him or something. And then he said no, obviously, and then found out most of the city took the money. How does Delta Force take over, or how do Special Forces take over in Iraq? They bought off almost all the Iraqi generals before using Nazi blitzkrieg tactics. You're like, blitzkrieg's a lightning war, not buying people off. Oh, you don't know about the blitzkrieg, do you? That's actually not true. The Blitzkrieg began with a 2-year program to buy off almost the entire French command and offer them dictatorship position out of the city of Vichy, France. And that's why Hitler defeated them so fast. Only the British fought a little bit and then ran to Dunkirk. See, this is all history. It's in the mainline history books. You're just not taught it. So they're running a Nazi program, a Blitzkrieg program, so that everybody's bought off, or they know who isn't bought off, when they launch their attack and decapitate governors, legislatures, all of it. And you need to know when the helicopters are hitting the local mayor and they're hitting the local capitol and they're hitting the local station and they're hitting it and attacking it and got, you know, miniguns out the windows saying terrorists are in there, that's the takeover. And folks, those are going to be UN troops in many cases in those craft with collaborators who are so stupid or who are mercenaries and believe this is part of the attack and believe they're really killing terrorists. Okay, they've already done the buying off, the paying off over 20 years. They believe they've got us, or they think they do. So we either gain everything in this by learning of their sneak attack plan, because I'm like a guy in France running around in 1939 going, they're going to attack, they're going to attack. And there were people doing that. They're like, shut up, conspiracy theorist. We either realize the attack, they lose everything in this, or they go hide. And what will precipitate it? Something like a small atomic bomb going off that they'll blame on us.